I've been thinking a lot about the ways that we can maximize our wardrobe and come up with fresh and exciting new outfit combinations without needing to buy anything new. And a lot of this comes down to styling. And I thought today we could pinpoint some of the little styling techniques, tips, and tricks that truly stylish people do that essentially breathes new life into the well loved pieces you already have hanging in your closet. Some of the best dressed people I know aren't out there chasing trends or adding bold items into their outfits. They know how to wear what they have and they know how to wear it well. So I thought today we could break down some of these styling techniques that lead to a really intentional and refined, elevated looking outfit and unpack what it is that makes these visually interesting. And please don't forget to like and subscribe, especially if you enjoy this video. Our first styling move is the off-center finish, basically creating a sense of asymmetry in our outfit. This is visually interesting because we aren't seeing a mirror image, but instead we're seeing points of interest in different sides of the look. So there are a few different ways that you could do this. For example, with a belt, you could nudge it off center so the buckle sits to the side, almost on the hip. I think that this is a really great way to draw attention to the side and also kind of make the buckle feel like more of an impactful part of your outfit. Styling a silk scarf at the waist can have this similar sort of appeal, especially when folded into a triangular shape. So we have the long edge on one side and the short edge on the other. Hopefully the pictures that I popped on screen will help to demonstrate this more, but this is also a really interesting way to break up your outfit and define your waist that feels really unexpected. And I think that's part of the visual appeal. You could opt for asymmetrically paired earrings, having more weight on one side than on the other. This is a great way to just mix and match the different earring styles that you have and come up with a truly interesting and fascinating combination each and every time. This is a really approachable styling choice, and the fact that earrings basically frame the face helps to dial up that visual interest when someone is speaking to you. This next one feels a bit more pragmatic, but styling your leather gloves to one side of your belt. So again, creating that asymmetry on one side of your waist. I've also seen people do really interesting asymmetrical elements with cuffs over shirts, so it cinches in on one side and then loose on the other. I also love the idea of bringing that off-balance moment around the neckline when wearing a collared shirt. I'm going to have a couple of photos on screen which illustrate this point because I don't think my words will do it justice, but I think that this is a really beautiful option and something that, again, many of us could easily achieve. I will pop some other examples on screen, but I think the sense of asymmetry is interesting because it creates a point of view and our focus is drawn to the asymmetrical moment because we aren't expecting it. Next is the idea of tonal tension. So people who are effortlessly stylish aren't necessarily thinking about matching items in exact shades. Instead, they're looking for tonalities because it creates a sense of depth to their outfit and visually feels a lot more interesting. So thinking about shades of and doing this even when you're wearing neutrals as well. It helps to keep the outfit feeling soft and layered and sort of says, I know how to wear color, but I also know how to wear it with restraint. The beauty of this is that you're not limited to a color on the spectrum, and you also have the ability to dial up or dial down the intensity depending on the level of contrast that you're seeking. The next styling move is intentional repetition, where we echo elements of our outfit to create a truly cohesive look. This is why when you bookend your outfit, as in matching the top and your shoes, it comes off feeling quite cohesive and harmonious. Why when you're matching the color of your shoes to your trousers, not only do you have that long vertical line, but it also feels very intentional and not in a matchy way. And there's obviously a scale to this as well. You can be quite overt in repeating those little details, or you can opt for small, subtle repeats that maybe on first glance you don't notice, but then when you take a closer look at the outfit, they become very obvious. One of the colder weather styling approaches that I saw that really kind of caught my eye was matching the color of your gloves to your sweater or your shoes or your bag, but just having some kind of repetition there. And that's a nice way to kind of bring it in without it feeling like it's a huge part of your outfit. But there are so many different ways that this can play out, and it just helps to kind of create a little bit more focus. And remember, not everything has to match, just repeat one thing as that will be enough. The next one is soft structure, and this essentially relates to how we can create a sense of balance when we are wearing more oversized pieces. And the styling techniques are very simple and you're probably doing them already, but things like rolling up the sleeves to reveal a bit of your arm, creating that balance between the slim and big. But also thinking about how we can use concepts like asymmetry to play with this as well. So you could tuck a slouchy knit in on one side, creating this lovely draped effect that kind of falls against the body really nicely. Or another way to approach this is if you're wearing a collared shirt, tucking the collar in, but ensuring that the actual structure of the collar, that really sharp element, is still visible at the nape of the neck. This creates that nice balance between the soft and sharp components of the look, and it kind of helps to soften that architectural component. This might be one of my favorites, the quiet clash, introducing tension and friction to your outfit, pairing things together that are on opposite ends of the style spectrum. They feel like they don't belong, but there's something really interesting about the fusion that you just can't put your finger on. And those are outfits to lean in on. They can be some of the looks that make us feel the most confident, but also ones that really encourage that unique sense of self when it comes to personal style. This could be as simple as pairing athletic wear with more classic corporate tailoring, or opting for that masculine feminine blend, wearing a really beautiful dress with a pair of chunky sandals. It's the offbeat component, the unexpected styling, that creates that sense of layered depth and visual interest. And really, that is a very common thread if you think about all of these different styling techniques, the sense of unexpected, that our eye is drawn to something that we wouldn't normally think would be there. And our final styling move is barely there layering. The layers that maybe you don't necessarily notice or that don't feel like a focal part of the outfit. And this could be one of my personal favorites, which is layering a sheer top or a little mock neck underneath the shirt, giving you the power to decide how much of that you reveal or conceal. I really love wearing it quite open so that you can reveal a lot more of that layer underneath. And it's up to you whether you're opting for a top in the same color or tonal range, or something that's going to bring a sense of contrast. It could be as simple as wearing a t-shirt underneath a sweater where you have that little white trim peeking out underneath the collar of your knit. This is definitely one of those intentional styling techniques that many people use, and a great way to do this is to wear your t-shirt backwards. Another way to use a base layer in an interesting way would either be to reveal a little bit of a contrasting color at the cuff when you're layering two really fine knit tops over the top of each other, or at the hemline, perhaps creating a belted effect to define the waist. If you're wearing a collared shirt under a knit, you could lean on that idea I mentioned earlier, just having the collar showing through at the neckline. I also love the idea of layering skirts and dresses, opting for a slimmer, more fitted style as your base, and then layering something that's ever so slightly shorter over the top. Kind of creates this interesting hemline situation. None of these styling moves are very loud, but that's kind of the point. Well-dressed people aren't out there screaming at you to look at their outfit. Instead, what they're doing is making very intentional, but often quiet styling choices that make their outfits feel impactful, but also unique and interesting to them. And I really hope you come away from this video feeling inspired and looking at your wardrobe with a fresh set of eyes, seeing new ways that you can come up with unexpected but interesting and stylish new outfits. I'd love to know if there's a particular styling move that kind of called out to you the most, if there are any styling moves that you enjoy that feel quite quiet or soft, but create something that feels really layered and interesting. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new here and you'd love to see more from me. I share a lot of styling advice, how to remix your wardrobe, and brand reviews. Thank you so much for spending some of your day with me. I'm always eternally grateful, and I will see you next time with a brand new one. See you soon. Bye.